6 years with the different batches. It's now the journey, it would be the journey of your relationship as an alumni. So the 1 lakh, which is the student journey, is over, and now the larger journey is the journey of you people being associated as the proud alumni of this institution. So congratulations on completing of that first lap, and congratulations on entering the second phase, which is the more important phase, more responsible phase, because now you're not only past students, a lot of students will look up to you as the alumni, and as you grow in your organizations and careers, they will look forward to seeking guidance from you, seeking your inputs, seeking your help, seeking your involvement for maybe their internships and their jobs. While I address you today, it doesn't feel too long back that I was again addressing all of you during the induction. So, this withstanding these 2 years, I have just passed off in a blink. It's a reality, and it's a fact that time passes by very fast. And what you can do in the given time and space, you should always make the most of that. I still remember, I always used to tell you, read that book, Do Epic Shit. And in that book, the most important point was a year from now, that was a small couplet, you would wish you had. Now it's across 2 years. So some of you may think, I wish I had, but well, now, as they say, you can't cry on spilled milk or what's past. What's happened is happened. Now, what you can do is what's in your hand. So that you don't regret a year later from now in your organizations or wherever life takes you, I wish I had. So it should always be, you should be the author of your own book. And that will make it more eventful or memorable for all of you, which is very important. I can always say, I'm just putting some points as I get mails, as I interact with some of your batchmates. You should try and push yourself to the limit. And which is one thing, unfortunately, which is very visible in the recent times with the feedbacks which are coming from companies, with the feedbacks, some of your batchmates, I would not like to quote names, come and share. People, that's why I said I'm a little disoriented. People are talking about switching jobs within 7 months. Companies are sharing feedbacks and mails with me about performance of students being unprofessional in writing emails, being unprofessional in responding to the customers, which is resulting or can result in loss of business. People are speaking about the rural markets having no potential to work. Now, while I know you people are the Gen Z, it's a very different generation we are dealing with or talking about. But as I always tell all of you, Gen Zs are good. You bring a lot of creativity, you bring new ideas, you bring a lot of energy to the table. But then remember, your bosses unfortunately are not Gen Z. And you will have to report to them, unfortunately or fortunately. Performance will matter. You will have to map your performance, because when you start mapping performance, that's when you will realize whether there is improvement or no improvement. And I can only, at this point, because as I said, I was thinking earlier times, people didn't think of a job shift or a change, at least for 3 to 4 years, if not more. It is evident if you look at the LinkedIn profiles of our alumni. Now, 7 months, 8 months, people have already resigned. People are saying There's no growth in the company. Now, I hope it's not that, because see, the companies are the same, the HRs are the same, whether it's the rural locations or other locations, that's the same. As I said, now Asian Paints, all these have been recruiting from us. So it's not only your batch, even previous batch. People left Asian Paints within 8 9 months. Whereas on the flip side, we've got alumni who are working in Asian Paints right from 2008 batch till today, 2010 batch till today. So, what happened to Asian Paints, or what has happened to the present generation? So, the question mark is it the company, is it the policies, or is it the present generation? And it's important that you people understand this, because some of you are already placed, you all are already working. Some of you are to join your respective organizations, and some of you are still unplaced. With statistics are with me, but as the dean has already addressed you on that, I would not like to get into the thick of that. I would only like to advise the people yet to be placed that be in town, the team is working, and we will ensure that everyone gets a job. Because it is the responsibility of the institution, as was told to all of you at the time of the induction also, that we would not like to see any student walk out of this institution without a job. So that commitment which was made will still stand strong, and I ensure that everyone will get a job. But on your part, you ensure that for those people who have not got a job, that you perform. Because certain key finance companies have come, and certain companies, as I said, it's so embarrassing that I don't have the face to phone the HR for the junior batches. Like I told you, SG Analytics and all. I don't have the face to phone the HR also. So 108 to cleared aptitude and zero selection. If I phone that HR, you're gonna have a laugh at me. Because when we do try to, it's again a activity of sales. You're selling your batch. Look at IIBM students, best. But after he sees this kind of performance, when I have to phone him, I have told Pratham and all, though they work with me, I said, I'm not going to phone that HR. So that's embarrassment. Had we had even 4 5, they had 30 openings for 4 finance. So, as I said, I will not dwell into that. I don't want to get into that debate. I can question why didn't I get at least 15 selections there. So, we will not get into that, but I will only advise you, people unplaced, kindly remain focused. Don't stray away. Because if you get casual and stray away, it's your loss. So don't let that happen. Remain focused, have the faith and conviction, and jobs will be there. Another point which has again come to the notice, don't take a salary or wait for your salary and then quit the job. That's happened in the previous batch, and some students have done it very unceremoniously, resulting in a very bad image of the college. Some of you may get tempted or may get a better offer, may just wait till your salary is released and may dump the job and walk out. That's a very unprofessional or unceremonial way of exiting an organization. But please remember, you will cross roads of each other someday or other. So you cannot shy away, but the reality is, someday or the other, you will cross roads with the HR or someone from the organization, and that's when you will find it very, you will feel sheepish for yourself. You have to look down. Don't let that happen. Do things in the correct way. And I would say, as I said, a lot of reels on social media, you don't like a job, chuck the job and this and that and all that. It's all that real world is not a real world. It's not the reality. Reality is very different. Wake up to that. This year again, as I said, every year there is opportunity. Deloitte has always been a recruiter. What started with I think so, the induction of your juniors or your batch, when we call the HCL people, now HCL has resulted in a very good recruitment from the college. And many new companies have been introduced, some of which have been introduced in your batch. So it's a very positive sign that year on year, newer brands, bigger companies are recruiting and the numbers are really increasing. Like in Deloitte now, we may have a total of around 300 odd students of IIBM working. But again, this is again very surprising. Some openings came up. Some of you are part of that alumni group. Now, a girl placed last year is already planning to quit Deloitte. So imagine how it's going to impact the image or the reputation. Because within a year, on the alumni portal, if you're applying to different companies, it shows that you people are, not steady. So at least try and get steady. That's very important. Coming back to Deloitte or HCL or whichever companies that came here, everyone goes back with one very simple feedback or image or impression about their institution is about our values, about our culture, and about the ethos that we have. So anyone who comes, whether it's a visitor to the campus, whether it's a recruiter, whether it was the Apple people who came here, even the Apple team, when we sit down in the cabin for the tea or lunch, the feedback is only one. In today's time, how come your college manages to have this kind of a culture? They say this kind of discipline is never visible. This kind of decorum is not visible. People are so well mannered, so well cultured. So one thing is evident, which you people may have found very harsh at times, the code of conduct, that the code of conduct or our values or the ethos or the discipline here has been recognized and appreciated by the companies you're working with or by the companies you would be working in. For that matter, though, it's a good thing. The HR of Nestle, we used to phone her to request for more openings. So this time, but she never acknowledged it. But this time, when in Nestle they have their company, performance and awards and all that. So the HR saw the performance of our students, Ehsan Ahmed and a couple of them more, and she asked all those students because they're the top performers, different batches. She asked the students, "From which college are you?" And then this time she got in touch with me, not knowing that my number was already in her mobile. But whenever I used to follow up, she used to give a cold shoulder. But this time, and again, people who are in placements are evident to it. We didn't chase her. She followed up. She came to the campus with their ASM, spent a full day, and conducted the process. And the process is still ongoing. Let's see what the outcome is. But what is the bottom line now? The performance of those 4 or 5 alumni who are there, recent batches, was so good, and they've been performing, or their numbers are so great that the company came to us and Westernship, the students had done nothing. So she came to us because of the performance, the delivery, and of course, she says your students are very well disciplined. So, what is the bottom line? Is your values or the values that have been imbibed in you, the ethos, the training is a part of your culture. So, always be proud of it, uphold it. It will hold you in high light and it will hold you in high esteem in your organizations. Because HRs or senior leadership will always appreciate it and will always recognize it. Again, reputation and gyan, there is no place for the chalta hai attitude. And as I have always been telling a lot of you, incompetence paves way for competent people. So today you don't deliver, you will be given a chance to improve, another chance maybe, and then it will be goodbye. So always have a professional attitude. चलता है हो जाएगा. That casual attitude will not work. Like post the pandemic, people thought it's a different world, and they were living in a virtual hybrid and all, and they started believing that's the new normal. But soon to realize that this is the new normal became an abnormal, and people have had to get back to the reality. A lot of leadership who we speak to when they come on campus, they're having a major challenge because when they recruit people, people are not willing to work from office. They want jobs which would be work from home or remote. And the senior HRs we speak to, they say we are not interested in that kind of employees because now slowly we want people getting back to the workplace. So that new normal and all which was there isn't abnormal, and the reality is performance, delivery, accountability, and ownership are certain qualities or traits which cannot be compromised at any cost. Few more, basics. Again, your generation is smarter, wiser, but always stay abreast on current affairs, on your tech front, because the pace at which technology is changing, at times even I feel earlier, though we've seen 26 years, what we taught lasted a batch for 2 3 years, if not more. But now, what is taught, you cannot say it will last. It already gets outdated within a year, or if not lesser than that. So, the pace at which technology, AI is being introduced, unless you keep yourself abreast, you will lose out, and as I said, you will be replaced by someone who is more competent. Again, for those who are thinking of 7 months, 8 months, I always, on the lighter note, career growth or promotions or recognition is not a Swiggy or a Zomato world. Because you people have got too used to the Swiggy, Zomato, Zepto world or the likes, and you feel things should be instant. I think so. India is one of the few countries where we become very, very, you know, used to instant. While instantaneous or instant performance is important, but don't make it important from the point of view of growth or sustainability. My nephew was here from Norway. He's around 18 years old now. So it was, you know, excitement for him. He came, I think so, after 8 9 years to India. It was the pandemic, and then he couldn't travel and all. So for him, this time India was like Aladdin's genie. He says, "I want to eat sushi," and packed within half an hour, 40 minutes, or whatever the Swiggy time, sushi was at home. So in Norway, which is again a very progressive, a very oil-rich country, even in Norway that's not there. So while we are very good, but then it shouldn't make it that you use that or you think your careers will be that way. Careers will not be that way. And I'm telling you out of not an overnight wonder, out of seeing our alumni grow, seeing our alumni progress in companies. So let the Zepto, Swiggy, parallel not be there for careers. Let it be there, yes, to improve your performance. Let it be there to keep yourself abreast on tech front, but not for career growth and progression. Well, this point is plus minus. So those not placed, as I've said, please stay on campus or in Pune. You will be assisted, and we will ensure everything happens. Again, for those of you who have already started earning, and for those of you who would be earning, I'm sure you people have already got your wish lists that I've been seeing in the previous batches also. First salary is being credited, and you already booked an iPhone, or you already it's a reality. So that's status symbol. So I'm sure it's nothing new because we are getting used to your generation. So, but the concept of saving, the concept of investments, the concept of investing in certain policies or mutual funds is also very important. Don't live for today. So while you start earning, and while you already start thinking of changing jobs in 7 months, at the cost of investing in gadgets and things, think of investing in certain areas which can have long term growth. Because what's very important is the environment your generation has seen. You had the COVID-19 pandemic, then you had, or it's still ongoing, the Ukraine Russia war, and now the present crisis where we have the conflict in the Gulf of Strait of Hormuz between Iran, Israel, and the US. Now imagine this small thing is going to trigger a major oil crisis. So you never know when what crisis can come. If you don't believe in the concept, so your generation has witnessed all of this. Maybe a couple of generations before you, after the World War II or the certain conflicts or the 71 war, in between people had not witnessed. Plague came and went. Then the middle generation did not see much. But your generation or the present generations have witnessed a lot. COVID-19, then you had this war, then you had a lot of things have been happening. And a lot of you again studied all of it while you were here in guest lectures. There's a lot of uncertainty also. So always be prepared. And being prepared for uncertainty is by not living at the edge and living with some sort of planning, living in a little bit of an organized manner so as to sustain. So that's one point what I thought I should definitely tell you. As I tell every batch, certain fundamentals cannot change. Your nationality, you'll always be an Indian. You can change it subsequently, but originally it will be there. Your parents and your institutions. So, now what is your last institution of formal education will remain IIT. So whether you like it or not, you know, we are wed to each other. And that's why, as I said when I started my address, that it's the end of studentship, but it's the start of the relationship, which is even more important, and that is of an alumni. More important, more responsible, more mature. So be proud of them and do not doubt or rethink that whether they are right or they are wrong. Because everything that is being done is keeping in mind the good interest, well-being of all of you. So that is what is very important. And again, being the last day that I should formally be addressing all of you, I said I must make this point very clear. Because even though you go out from here, you'll always be recognized as the students of this institution. So whether you do good or bad, it's going to impact the institution, as is the case with Nestle, where it has a very positive impact, or certain other companies where it has not such a positive impact. I would not say a negative impact, but not so positive. So what is very important, what you do as a citizen will result in, of course, when you're abroad, you're representing your nation, your country. If you do as human beings, it impacts the upbringing and values that your parents have imparted. What you do in your professional life, it impacts partly the values imbibed by your parents and the training, values, and ethos which have been imbibed and instilled in you by your institution. So always uphold these core values, ethos, and the traditions, and I'm sure you'll do very well. And with this, I'll conclude because I'm sure you people would have your, sleep to catch up on. I'm dealing with a different generation, but I said I have to also change my thought process. and I'm sure you would want to raise a toast in the evening. Some of you may plan to raise a toast in the afternoon. So earlier, people waited till the sunset. Now people may say it's the era of gin and martinis and all. They may want to raise a toast even before sunset. So I would not delay you from that, and I would compliment you on good innings, a successful journey, and hoping that we meet again during the convocation, provided you have appeared for your exams with sincerity. Otherwise, that's why I said today is Durandar 2. I hope during the convocation I would get to see a similar audience or representation, which will again be the result of I wish I had prepared and appeared for the exams well. So let that wish factor be eliminated and always let it be that I have done my best. So I am rest assured that I will be there in the convocation ceremony. Before I conclude, but I must put a very important point on record to all those of you who are still there, and the names are not, so I will not read, but you all are aware, who worked in placements to coordinate, to all committee members who assisted during your tenure here, whether it's with the hospitality or the different activities, and to the students who are still working in placements to ensure that more leads come, to ensure that they're reaching out to companies. So, you must really appreciate the efforts that they put in. Because when some of you used to, depart by 6:30, these people used to be sitting up waiting till almost 7:38. So for no extra, brownie points or no extra advantage of their own. So they worked, with ownership, with responsibility. So while you enjoy it, whether it's during your internships or it's even till today, they've been holding the fort strong because of a sense of ownership and responsibility that they have taken. So, and they're seeing it through. So my compliments to all of them because they are there, they've been one of the backbones of all the coordination that has happened. So, a round of applause should go for all of them. So dream big, have lofty dreams and aspirations, and achieve them. Because only dreaming big without achieving those aspirations is of no use. And I'm sure you all can. All the best. Jai Hind.
Yes, sir.